hold up. Wait. Before you book that session, I know your talent is just like exploding. You're excited. You are ready to record. But first, watch this video. What's up, YouTube? It is your girl, Lydia Caesar. Welcome to Everything Lydia. If it is your first time here, I am so glad that you found me. I am a recording artist, a mom, a wife. This musical journey can be really, really crazy. I've been doing this for well over 10 years. I've been successful, had songs in movies, commercials, sung on some of the biggest stages in the world, Essence Festival, the ASCAP Awards. I still got a lot more to do though. Just want you to know that I know a little bit about this. I've been recording for years, and I have also been in the session as a vocal producer and seen artists make so many mistakes. This is not going to be a long video. 5 things that you need to make sure that you do and have in place before your session. Number 1. The first thing that you want to make sure is that you have your beat picked out and that your song is fully written before your session. This is something that's called being prepared. You do not want to be in the session on the clock finding a beat and writing a song. It's way too much pressure. Not only do you want to have the beat picked out and the song written, but you want to have worked through the song a few times. So if you're a singer, you want to have sang the record a couple times so that you're super comfortable with it. If you're a rapper, the same thing. Go through the motions and actually spit the song. Not necessarily by memory. You can have your phone up, but make sure that you move through the song a few times before you go to the studio. This is going to be so helpful for you when you get in that booth, especially if you're new at this. The booth can get really hot. You can get really sweaty. You can get really thirsty when you're not sure of what you're saying. You know, when you're not certain of the lyrics, when you're still trying to figure it out. You don't want to be in that booth on the clock. It becomes like an oven, okay? And you are feeling like cooked because you're not prepared. Number 2, instead of an entourage, bring a vocal producer to the studio with you. What is a vocal producer? A vocal producer is somebody who is going to be giving you suggestions from outside of the booth. As the artist, being in the booth, like I said, can be a lot of pressure, and you may not be able to really hear with clean ears like somebody who's outside the booth. Your engineer may be a great vocal producer. If that's what you have, the dynamic that you have with your engineer, perfect. But if you don't, especially if this is your first time going to work with this engineer, bring a vocal producer. Maybe one of your friends has a great ear and gives good suggestions, or maybe you find somebody like me who actually does this for a living. And, you know, they may charge you a little extra to go with you to the studio and help vocally produce your song. This is so important. I like working with vocal producers. I've always worked with them. Right now, my husband, Wavy Wayne, works as my vocal producer because we know each other. He knows what I can do, what I'm capable of. He can pull certain things out of me. I still have to come up with harmonies and all that type of stuff on my own because he don't sing. But I can still even translate if he's like, this part needs a harmony or needs a stack. I have that set of ears outside of the booth to help tell me what to do. Think about this, and if you don't know one or have one, look for one. Find someone who can give you great feedback while you're in the booth. That's going to help the song come out 10 times better, I promise you. Number 3, warm up vocally. This is not just for singers. This is for you rappers too. I don't want you to think that warming up is only something that singers need to do. Your voice is your instrument, whether you sing or rap. This is the moneymaker. Like some people play guitar, some people play keys. You play your voice. You need to warm it up. I have a video actually that I just posted with my top 3 vocal warm-ups for like singers, but you can do these warm-ups as well if you rap. You want your voice to be clear, performing at its max. You never want to leave the session and be like, man, my voice sounded scratchy, or, you know, I wasn't in my full voice, it was early or it was late. So before you go to the studio, warm up. Even just moving through the lyrics that you're gonna rap, that you're gonna sing, that's a part of warming up too. That can be warming up. Make sure that you do this the day of the session, before the session. So by the time you get in the booth, your vocal cords are nice and warm. Number 4, this may seem obvious, but it has to be said. You need to bring your confidence with you to the studio. The studio can be a very intimidating place, especially if you're not prepared. Back to tip number 1. But even if you are, sometimes it can be intimidating letting your art out. Because we artists and we sensitive about our right? We sensitive. So it can be easy to show up in a place of insecurity. Pep talk yourself before you leave out the house. Look in the mirror, get in your bag and say, yo, you about to kill this session. You wrote a fire record. You're prepared. You have a vocal producer with you or somebody that you trust to give you good tips outside of the booth. I'ma get in this studio and kill it. Not having confidence in the studio can be a major crutch to your talent and what you want to convey to your listener, to the audience. So make sure that you really pep yourself up with affirmations before the studio so that when you get there, you can perform at the highest level. And the last thing is, make sure that you bring a hard drive or a flash drive to put your sound recording on. Look, I'm talking from experience here, okay? Because I record with my husband, I have not practiced this for years. And recently we lost whole files of songs. Whole files, like I'm talking about like 30, 40, 50 songs. The files are gone. I have some MP3s, but the files don't exist because somebody broke into my husband's car and stole all his stuff. Now, if I would have been practicing this, bringing a drive each time we recorded, just dump the session on my drive, when that type of thing happens, you're protected because it's not the engineer's job to make sure that your files are safe. It's your job. And if something goes down, you're not insured. So you want to have your files at all times. When you paid for a studio session, that is your intellectual property. Bring a drive. Give it to the engineer at the end of your session so that all of your files can be safe and sound. And that's it. If all of these 5 things are in place, guess what? Ding, ding, ding. You are ready to hit that booth. Go have a good session. Tell them Lydia Caesar helped prepare you. Nah. Go have a great time, but just make sure that you check off this checklist before you get there. I'm your girl, Lydia Caesar. Thank you so much for subscribing to Everything Lydia. I will be dropping gems, tips, and tricks like this consistently going forward. So lock in, share it with a friend, and lastly, go in love and light. Hey, get on.